says, "For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach." So if your foundation is not established upon that stone, upon that rock, it's not going to make it. It's going to crumble. Because we're coming into very trying times where everyone's foundation is going to be shaken to the core. And only those that are attached to that stone, to that rock, to Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, are going to be the ones that's going to weather the storm.
Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give out praises, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rechekwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who were well, who taught us truth. Today's lesson will be entitled somewhere along the lines of, are you going to be able to weather this storm? Will you be able to weather this storm? And this is a GMF, as it says, GMS Info Doc Channel 12, Apostle Ramlab. Subscribe and be edified. And just now, as I was saying that a car drove by, and it has on the license plate it said "One Dream," and our one dream is to weather this storm, to get through it, to get through all hell breaking loose. That is our aspiration, our mindset, our prayer, our focus, our mindset is to get through this storm, is to get through all hell breaking loose, the worst time in history. And as Apostle Ramlab just said, the only way is for your foundation to be set and grounded and rooted within Yahweh Shem Yahushai and this truth. The truth, man. Not a false truth, but this truth. Because we're entering into, as he says and goes into, dangerous times. Coming into, the worst time in history, Jacob's trouble. Are you going to be able to weather it? So real quick, let's get that showing. Was it Daniel 12:1? Where Daniel 12 and verse 1, at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So we're talking about the worst time in history. And the NLT says in the middle, then there will be a time of anguish greater than any since nations first came into existence. So from the beginning of time, from the beginning of the creation of this world, of this earth, there has never been such a time of danger, such a time of anguish, such a time of distress and misery than the times that we're about to enter into. Everything that we have seen in past is really nothing compared to what we're about to enter into, man. The worst time in history. You can compare it to the flood. It's going to be worse than the flood. You can compare it to slavery. It's going to be worse than slavery. 70 AD is going to be worse than that. The bubonic plague, the HCOS, anything that you can think of in human history that has happened from the beginning of this world, the beginning of this earth, it's going to far surpass these things that have happened in recent, not just recent history, but in history in general. So as well as, let's get this as well, Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. And it reads, we'll start at verse 5, Jeremiah 30 and 5. And of course, earlier when I said it's nothing compared to what of course, the flood had its significance. All these things and all these judgments and disasters that the Lord has brought upon this earth, it had its significance, and it was very great. But this time is going to be a lot worse than what we have seen and what our ancestors have seen, since the beginning. Who anybody has seen since the beginning. So this is Jeremiah 30 verse 5. For thus say the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. There is no peace coming to this place. The only thing that is coming to this society is terror, cries of fear, as it says in the NLT, trembling, fear, not peace, man. And as Pastor Ramlab said, Are you going to be able to weather this storm? The only ones who are going to be able to weather this storm is those who are rooted and grounded in Yahweh Shemi outside. And we're praying in our dream, our aspirations is that we are rooted and grounded in Yahweh Shemi outside. In verse 6, ask ye now, see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So that's how bad it's going to be, that the very men that you deem as, highly respected, strong, courageous, they're going to be like women giving birth in that day, man. Crying, travailing, wailing, man. Verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. None. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And the he is the elect, the ones who have weathered this storm, weathered the day of the Lord, man. In the NLT verse 7, it says, in all history, there has never been such a time of terror. Come on, man. This is what the Lord Yahweh Shemi outside is bringing upon this earth, upon the nation of Israel. And the Lord isn't playing, man, because a lot of people want to think that the Lord is all hugs and rainbows, and the day of the Lord is going to be, brightness. Let's see if we can find that. Darkness, not bright. Let's see if it'll pull up like this. Darkness, bright. Even no darkness, yeah. Amos 5, verse 20. Let's see, let's start up. Amos 5 and 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yahweh is darkness and not light. Even it's like as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So no matter where you turn, once we enter into these days of darkness, of distress, of anguish, everywhere you turn is going to be nothing but darkness, man. There's not going to be any mirth, no joy, no happiness. It's going to be straight darkness for those who have not made their foundation the Lord Yahweh Shemi Asar, because as it says in Isaiah 65, in the 13th verse, it says, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. My servant shall rejoice, and ye shall be, wailing and travailing, roughly paraphrasing. So the men of the Lord's men is going to be okay, and they're going to be rejoicing while everybody else is crying and wailing because of the disasters that the Lord is bringing upon this world. And it's going to be on every side, man. It says, verse 20, shall not the day of the Lord Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it. No brightness, man. There's not going to be any brightness, and we're gonna go through this too. We're gonna go through the judgments, but the difference between the elect and the non-elect is that the Lord is going to protect them and keep them and safeguard them, as it says in Revelation 3. Are you going to be able to weather this storm? Are you going to be able to weather the temptation of the RFID micro C hip when it comes into play? Revelation 3 and verse 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. When you get that word keep, which in the Hebrew is shamor, it says keep, G5083, to attend to carefully, to take care of. So the Lord is going to take care of his elect. We're going to go through it. We may be tortured, or may be martyred, but the Lord is going to keep us and protect us. It says to reserve. So the Lord's going to reserve. It says right here to preserve. You get that word preserve. To maintain in its original or existing state. It says to keep safe from harm or injury. To maintain or keep alive. So the Lord's going to keep us. But you're also going to have brothers who will be martyred for this truth. So you got to also prepare your mind for that. Are you going to be able to weather being a martyr for the Lord Yahweh Shemi Ashar, or are you going to give in? So going back to that Revelation 3, it says, I also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which I come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this is going to come upon all the world, man. Not just here in America, but everywhere. Are you going to be able to weather it? And only those who have made the Lord Yahweh Shemi outside their foundation is going to be able to weather this, man. It says, so now we're going to go into what Apostle Ramla was bringing out, and we'll just go from there. 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 11. We'll get in the NLT actually. 1 Corinthians 3 and 11 in the NLT. For no one can lay any foundation other than the one we already have, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So there's no other foundation you can lay. There's no other way. There's no other foundation that you can lay. Let's get that word foundation in the Greek. Let's see what it says. G2310, laid down as a foundation, metaphor, the foundation, the beginnings, the first principles of institutions or systems of truth. And who is our system of truth? The Lord Yahweh Shemi Yahweh Shai. That's truth, man. There's no other way that you can, as it says in John 10 and 1? John 10 and verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, and this is Yahweh Shai speaking. He that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. So if you're making something else, something other than the Lord Yahweh Shemi Yahshai your foundation, if you try to come up some other way, then you're not going to make it. You're going to be regarded as a thief and a robber. And we know what happens to thieves and robbers: judgment. So the only foundation that will be able to protect you is the Lord Yahweh Shemi Yahshai and this truth. The true truth, man, not the false truth. Because what it say, for no one can lay any foundation other than the one we already have, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So Christianity isn't that foundation. Baptism, Catholicism isn't that foundation. Islam isn't that foundation. If you try to hide and be protected from these other foundations, then you're not going to make it. And it's not going to stand firm in that day. You can try it, but it's not going to work. The only foundation is the Lord Yahweh Shemi Yahshai. It's truth. The names. You need the names. The foundation starts with the names. The true names of the Lord, the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. And the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh. And in the Hebrew, that breaks down to He is. And Yahweh Shai, the name of the only begotten Son, whose word ignorantly and incorrectly calls Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. Yahweh Shai means He saves, He delivers in the Hebrew. That's the only foundation, man. You can't have a foundation in Yeshua and Yahuwah and Jehovah and Yahweh, Yeshua. There's no foundation, man, within those names. It's a foundation, but the foundation is not built upon that solid rock, that solid stone, but it's built upon sand. You can't build your foundation on money, on your business, on your job, or you can't build your foundation on your family. The only foundation is the Lord Yahweh Shemi Yahshai. Everything else is going to crumble and decay and fall, as the Apostle Ramla was saying. There's no other way, man. So verse 11 again, for no one can lay any foundation other than the one we already have, which is true, it's sure, it's perfect, it's solid, man. Verse 12, anyone who builds on that foundation, it's like it. Anyone who builds on that foundation, it's like you got this loud ass car banging some music coming by. It's like that. So 1 Corinthians 3 and 12, anyone who builds on that foundation may use a variety of materials: gold, silver, jewels, wood, hay, or stone, or slag, straw. But on Judgment Day, fire will reveal what kind of work each builder has done. The fire will show if a person's work has any value. So the Lord, you can build what you want, but is it going to stand firm in that day? The judgment that the Lord Yahweh Shemi Yahshai is bringing is going to reveal it, as the Apostle Ramlab, the title of his lesson, which is your pod lesson, edifying lesson. Listen and be as the elders, Elder Yashwam, I believe, say, and, subscribe and be edified. Truth reveals, so it's going to reveal it, man. And on that day, you can build your foundation however you want to use it. There's a variety of materials you can build it on. You can build it in Christianity, Catholicism, Islam. You can build it with on your money, thinking your money's going to keep you safe in that day. You can build it on your family. You can build it on who cares? It's up to you. How do you want to build it? What do you want to build it on? But what does it say in Joshua 24 and verse 15? As for me and my house, we know what we're going to build our foundation on. Joshua, Lord willing, the Lord keeps us to that day. Joshua 24 and verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord Yahweh, if you don't want to build your foundation on the Lord, okay, that's on you. If you want to build your foundation with money, okay, go do it. Get from around here, though. Don't stay around us. Get from around here. It says, choose you this day whom you will serve. Where do you want to build your foundation? Whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, and in whose land you dwell. You want to build your foundation on Christianity? Go ahead. On Catholicism? Go ahead. On Buddhism? Go ahead. With them bald people? Go ahead. You want to build your foundation with the universe and think that, you want to be spiritual and you want to trust in, the universe and the Big Bang Theory. You want to build your foundation on science falsely so-called? Go ahead. But what does it say? But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai. As for us, Lord willing, part of the lake, we're going to build our foundation upon the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai. We're going to trust in the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, man. That's where we're going to build our foundation. And we believe wholeheartedly and know that the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai's foundation is going to stand firm in that day. So going back, 1 Corinthians 3, we're still in the NLT. 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 12 again. Anyone who builds on that foundation may use a variety of materials: gold, silver, jewels, wood, hay, or straw. But on the judgment day, fire will reveal what kind of work each builder has done. How have you did? What kind of foundation do you got? Is that going to stand firm? When this storm comes through, is that going to hold up? Nah, it's not. It says the fire will show if a person's work has any value. And the majority, I'll say it like this: any foundation outside of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai and the true foundation has no value. No value. The only value is the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai and his foundation, the true foundation. Because money ain't going to save you. I keep saying money. Right here is Zephaniah 1 in the last verse. Because you know what? We're going to start at 14. Zephaniah 1 verse 14, the great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. So we're coming near to that storm, man. That great day, that great and powerful and magnificent day. We're drawing near unto it. It says the strong man will cry. That day, verse 15, is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. This doesn't sound like hugs and butterflies and rainbows, man. Hugs and kisses. This don't sound like what how's it go? Sugar, spice, and everything nice. No. It sounds like ruins, man. This sounds like a terrible day. Verse 16, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. The Lord is about to bring a lot of judgment upon this place, man. Are you going to be able to weather? Are you going to be able to weather seeing dead bodies, just surrounding you? Everywhere you walk, everywhere you look, there's going to be a dead body. Are you going to be able to weather if the Lord puts you through these tests in that day? You may not eat for 2 or 3 days. Are you going to weather that storm? Are you going to trust in the Lord? Are you going to, how's it go? Or are you going to forsake the Lord and trust in Esau Edom and his technology? You can try to make your foundation through the micro C hit, man. That's not going to stand firm in that day, man. It's not. It says, verse 18, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them, the point, in the day of the Lord Yahweh's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So your money ain't going to save you, man. Your money's not going to stand firm in that day. The micro C-HIP is not going to stand firm in that day. Your family's not going to stand firm in that day. Your business, your job, your jewelry, your fancy way of living isn't going to stand firm in that day. The only way you're going to be able to stand firm is the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshai and the truth. There's no other way out. How's that scripture go? Damn. It's starting to slip my mind. Lord, it'll come back to me. So back in that 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 14 in the NLT. If the work survives, that builder will receive a reward. But if the work is burned up, the builder will suffer great loss. The builder will be saved, but like someone barely escaping through a wall of flames. So the Lord is about to bring this judgment, man. The Lord is about to bring a lot of judgment. And if your work isn't of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, it's going to be burned up. It says, verse 15 in the KJV, if any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. Going to be burned, man, by the Lord's judgment that he is about to bring upon this world, man. And if your building stands firm, then you're going to receive a reward, a righteous reward, man. You got to make this truth your safe haven. You can't trust in anything else, man. Man, how does that scripture go? I can't think of it. I can't even quote it. So real quick, let's get this. I'll probably end it off right here. Matthew 6, I believe it's Matthew 6. Might be 10. Going into building your foundation on sand. Let's look up sand. Hopefully there ain't many precepts with sand. I believe it's in Matthew. I know. I thought it was. Yep, Matthew 7. This is Matthew 7 in verse 24. Matthew 7 and 24 in the KJV. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And then it's a solid rock. So if you're making your foundation, Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, you're hearkening, you're listening, you're going that way and trusting in the Lord, then you're going to be likened to a wise man who built his sand upon a rock. Verse 25, and the rain descended and the floods came, that storm, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, because we're going to go through it too, man. And it fell not, for it was founded upon rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand. Christianity, Catholicism, your money, your Buddhism, Allah, Yeshua, Yahuwah, Jehovah, anything else outside of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai, it's likened unto sand, man. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. It's going to be a great fall, man, if you trust in these other foundations. And then it says, verse 27, when the rains and floods came and the winds beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. And verse 26 says, but anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it, doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. You don't build your house on sand because it's going to crumble. The slightest wind is going to just blow it over. But the storm that's coming it's a mighty storm, man. And if you're not built and settled and rooted and grounded upon that true stone, that true rock, the true foundation, then you're going to fall. And Lord willing, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, we're praying, and our desire is that the Lord Yahweh keeps us into that day and through that day, man. Because what it say, he that shall, in Matthew 24:13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So Lord willing, we're one of those ones. We're one of those men that the Lord Yahweh keeps and preserves and safeguards and takes care of even through that day, man. Because if not, the truth is going to reveal it that you was a phony, that you didn't build your foundation properly with the proper materials. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the spirit, to the body, to the fold, and before and that off, I give all praises, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chakodash, and double honors as always to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.